All right, so today we're diving headfirst into the wild world of Wall Street bets.
Oh, should I buckle up?
You better believe it. We're talking market predictions, hot stocks, and, that unique Wall Street bets humor
Sounds right up my alley. Where are we getting all this intel?
straight from the source.
Right.
The daily discussion thread from October 18th, 2024, plus some seriously eye-catching individual posts.
Sounds like a gold mine. So what's the market mood like? Bulls? Bears?
Oh, it's a real mixed bag this week. Think Wall Street bets cocktail hour.
Now that's an image.
Right. You've got your diehard bulls convinced the market's on an unstoppable climb.
Blind faith in the S&P 500. Sounds familiar.
One user even called it a religion. But then there's the flip side, the anxiety crew. Like this one post really got to me. Screenshot of a portfolio, down 100 grand on Chinese stocks.
Oof, that's rough. Reminder that emerging markets can be a roller coaster.
No kidding. But then again, another user chimes in with, China's a steal right now.
Classic case of one person's loss.
Being another's opportunity. Exactly. Risk tolerance is everything in this game.
Speaking of risk, a lot of chatter about a potential correction, too.
Yeah, some are even calling it GD 2.0, like it's some kind of sequel we don't want to see.
Right, referencing a past downturn that probably left some scars.
But interestingly, lots of skepticism around these predictions.
Oh, yeah. Some are calling it pure attention grabbing.
Always a good dose of that on Wall Street bets. It's like a giant game of poker, trying to figure out who's bluffing.
High stakes, that's for sure.
So, enough about the market's mood swings. Let's
Yeah.
get specific. What stocks have people buzzing this week?
Well, based on our deep dive, the top 5 contenders are, drumroll please, NVDA, TSM, NFLX, GOGL,
The usual suspects.
and of course we can't forget those ever volatile Chinese stocks.
Each one with its own saga unfolding.
Precisely. So, where should we start?
Let's kick things off with the crowd favorite NVDA. Everyone seems to be betting on them.
The darling of the tech world, for sure. One user even wrote, NVDA 145 cents expiring next Friday. Locked and loaded. Let's Jew. Talk about confidence.
Right. It's contagious.
Yeah.
Even with other tech giants like AMD hitting some bumps,
NVDA is still on top of the world.
it's like they believe NVDA can single-handedly carry the entire tech sector.
And you know what? There's a reason for that faith. It all boils down to those little powerhouses, semiconductors.
Semiconductors, the new gold rush, right?
You got it. And NVDA is a major player. And with the AI boom, they're sitting pretty.
So everyone wants a piece of that semiconductor pie.
Exactly. But just like a gold rush, there are risks. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. One user even mentioned ASML, the company that makes the equipment to produce these chips. They're essential but often overlooked.
The silent partner is raking it in.
Exactly. It shows just how complex this whole ecosystem really is.
So many moving parts. Speaking of connections, next up is TSM, aka Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing. And it seems like their fate is tied to NVDA's.
Absolutely. One user even posted, sexy TSMV. Now, while they're likely referring to a chart pattern, it speaks volumes about the allure surrounding TSM.
And rightfully so. They're the world's largest dedicated chip foundry.
Which means they manufacture chips for companies like, you guessed it, NVDA.
It's all connected.
Like a big, intricate web, and sometimes it's hard to predict which way the thread will pull.
One user even wondered why NVDA would drop if TSM's earnings were so strong. It's a good question.
It is. It highlights the complex relationship between these two titans. TSM's success can be good news for NVDA, but it's not always a direct correlation.
Right, other factors at play.
Always.
Well, moving on from the world of chips, let's talk entertainment. NFLX, Netflix. Their earnings report really got people talking.
Yeah, Netflix is an interesting one, isn't it? They beat subscriber growth expectations this time around.
Which usually sends investors into a frenzy.
You'd think. But looking at the comments, there's a good deal of skepticism mixed in with the excitement.
Yeah, like they won the lottery, but now they're worried about the taxes.
Exactly.
Some pointing to the competition heating up, the password sharing crackdown.
Right, and the whole streaming landscape is changing constantly.
It's true. It makes you wonder, can Netflix stay on top?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's what makes Wall Street Bets so interesting. They're not afraid to ask those tough questions.
They get right to the heart of it.
They do.
Speaking of shaking things up, let's talk about Google, GOGL. Investor sentiment seems all over the place.
Yeah, it's a real mixed bag, isn't it? Some singing Google's praises, others... Well, let's just say they're not impressed. Their performance hasn't quite matched the hype, especially compared to some other tech giants.
Yeah, one comment mentioned Google lagging despite tech sector strength.
Right, and that's the thing, isn't it? If the whole sector's booming, why isn't Google riding that wave?
It's a valid question.
It is, and some users are pointing to Google's ventures beyond search. Spreading themselves too thin, maybe.
Right. Are they losing their focus?
Possibly. That's what some investors are worried about.
And speaking of focus, Google's been putting a lot of resources into AI. And of course, WallStreetBets has noticed.
Oh, absolutely. One user even wrote, Google's buying up nuclear power plants to power their AI.
I mean, I don't know if that's true,
Probably not.
but it shows you the perceived scale of it all, the energy AI requires.
Right. It's not just about lines of code, is it? It takes serious infrastructure.
It's like the Wild West out there, everyone vying for power. But before we get lost in the AI weeds, let's circle back to those Chinese stocks. We talked about that one user's 100K loss, but the conversation didn't end there.
No, it didn't. Remember that comment about China being massively cheap? Well, that sentiment's echoed by a lot of users.
Seeing it as a buying opportunity.
Exactly. Buy low, sell high, even if low means a market dip. Of course, that takes a certain kind of risk tolerance.
It does. It's that balance between fear and opportunity that makes the market so fascinating. But beyond specific stocks, I'm curious about the overall vibe of the daily discussion thread. It's like the heartbeat of WallStreetBets. What's the overall feeling?
Oh, it's a roller coaster of emotions over there. On one hand, you've got the day traders, living for the YOLO bets, the auctions plays.
Treating it like a video game almost.
Right. But then there's this underlying current of uncertainty.
Like riding a roller coaster while wondering if the tracks are secure.
Exactly. Someone even compared it to a casino, saying, my friends asked if I want to go to the casino tonight. Little do they know I've been at the casino all week.
That's perfect. It really captures the energy.
It does, doesn't it? That constant risk, the potential rewards, and of course, the humor.
Right. Amidst all the financial talk, the memes are flying.
Oh, always. It's a coping mechanism, finding some levity in a stressful situation.
It's a good reminder that even in the world of finance, a little humor goes a long way. But amidst the jokes, there are some serious discussions happening, like about the potential for a Santa rally. Is WallStreetBets feeling festive this year?
It's hard to say. Some users are predicting a December surge.
Holiday spending, year-end optimism, that kind of thing.
Exactly. But others are more cautious, pointing to economic indicators and global uncertainty.
So it's still up in the air. Bulls versus bears.
Always is. Someone even suggested people might sell off stocks to afford Christmas presents. Talk about a reality check.
Right. Throws a wrench in the whole Santa rally idea.
It does. But that's the beauty of WallStreetBets and the market in general. You never know what's going to happen.
It keeps us on our toes. Speaking of unpredictable, there's this one post that caught my eye. It's called Reddit's Data AI Crack. Why I'm betting big on Reddit stock, RDNT.
Sounds intriguing.
Oh yeah, what's the angle? This user believes Reddit is sitting on a gold mine of data, and they think it could be the key to some next-level AI innovation.
Interesting, because of all the user-generated content.
Right, like Reddit could go from the front page of the internet to an AI powerhouse.
Ambitious, right. And as you might expect, some skepticism in the comments. A few pointed out the risks. Betting on a new AI application is, well, it's a gamble.
High risk, high reward.
Exactly. And someone even pointed out the poster's investment wasn't exactly huge, maybe not as much conviction as the headline suggests.
Gotta love WallStreetBets, always keeping it real.
Yeah.
But it does make you think the role of data in AI is changing so fast.
It is. It's like the new oil driving this whole AI revolution.
Right, and Reddit, with all that user-generated content.
They could be sitting on a gold mine. But of course, like any investment, no guarantees.
True, true. That's what makes it exciting, though. It makes me think about that comparison we talked about earlier. Google's market cap versus NVDA's. It's almost like David and Goliath. NVDA, the nimble newcomer, taking on the giant.
That's a good way to put it. NVDA laser-focused on AI chips, while Google's got their hands in so many different things.
It makes you wonder, in the AI age, is it better to be a specialist or a generalist? To be laser-focused or
have your fingers in every pie? It's a tough one.
no easy answers. Some on WallStreetBets seem to think NVDA's approach gives them an advantage.
It does make sense, especially in such a fast-moving field like AI.
Yeah, you don't want to spread yourself too thin.
Right. Although Google's no slouch either. It's like that fable, the tortoise and the hare.
But the hare is building a tech empire instead of taking a nap.
Exactly. Who wins? Who knows? That's the market for you.
Always keeps us guessing. But it's important to remember, with all the memes and the humor, this isn't just a game. There are real people and real money involved.
So true. One post that really hit home for me was titled, "This Year in a Nutshell." The user talked about the emotional ups and downs, the thrill of winning.
The crash of losing.
Yeah, and that constant uncertainty we're all
A
feeling.
new normal, right.
It's a good reminder that the market's not just numbers on a screen. It's driven by human emotions.
Fear, greed, all of it.
Exactly. But even with all that, there's still this undercurrent of, I don't know, hope, maybe.
Yeah, some users saying things like, stocks always go up eventually, or my personal favorite, you can't beat America,
It's like they're clinging to that belief that everything will work out.
which is a powerful thing.
It is. But it's important to remember as we wrap up here, optimism is great, but a good investment strategy needs more than just hope.
Couldn't agree more. Do your research, know your risk tolerance, and don't be afraid to ask the tough questions.
Just like the folks on Wall Street Bets.
Exactly. And as always, the content we've talked about today is for informational purposes only. It's not financial advice. Investing in the stock market always has risks.
Always talk to a financial advisor before making any big decisions.
Wise words. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of Wall Street bets. Remember, whether you're a seasoned trader or just starting out, approach it all with a healthy dose of caution, a bit of humor, and maybe, just maybe, a diamond hand or two. Until next time.